Welcome back. I got another quick one from Midwest DBS. Just decks that might be good in the current meta. But I wanted to make it just a little different because this deck has been around for a while. And lately I've been seeing good mono red list popping up and some green red. This is a mono red Zeno version, but it's going to have more of an Earthling strategy, which is a little bit different and not in the norm, I would say, right now. But anyways, Payne's a really good leader. Arguably one of the best red leaders. Basically, when you play a battle card, it gets plus 5,000 power, and then if its power is 20,000, you get to draw a card. And when your life's at 4 or less, it awakens, and then you get to restand 2 energy. On this side, it does the exact same thing as the front side, except for when it attacks, then it also gets to draw a card. And it's a 15,000, obviously, versus the 10. So, we're getting into the basics of the deck. We're going to run 4 Intensifying Power Trunks. He's been in this deck for a long time just because he's a good 1-drop that can apply crit pressure, and he's an evolve target. So, he's just a really great card. This card right here was in, I forget what it came in, but has been a staple of the deck, basically, ever since it came out. Because what this allows you to do is, when you play this, it becomes a 20k, and you get to draw a card from this, and you get to draw a card off this. So it comes into play, you draw 2 cards, there's no downside to running this card whatsoever, and it's another evolve target. Next is the Earthling strategy. I really like Scrambling Assault Goten, and basically the only card that really mimics it somewhat is everyone's pal Yamcha. Basically, when you play this, once again you get to draw a card off the leader. But when it attacks, you look at your top 3 cards, you get to choose up to 1 Earthling among them and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's always swinging in and finding, as you will see, as my Earthling count is pretty high in this deck. So this card's generally live hitting Earthlings or Saiyan / Earthlings, which it can grab as well. So that's only the really difference between other chain attack variants is running Everybody's Pal Yamcha and then tweaking some cards, running less or running more because you want the Saiyan Earthlings. This is not a Earthling, but it is double shot Vegeta. It's just good because it's a 10k combo that also puts him into play, which also works with your leader because he comes in, replaces himself, draws a card. So he acts like a pseudo super combo, but also allows you to put a battle card on the field. Digging Deep is at a 4 of, because in some matchups where you want to get really aggressive, it's just really good. You can take up to 1 or 2 cards from your life, put it to your hand, and when you do, after he swings, he restands, gets buff, and can swing again. And also, he will draw off the leader as well. You're running a lot of red battle cards, and this is another Saiyan Earthling, so once again, you can find that off your Yamcha. Also, draws a card off the leader. It's Blocker, it's Barrier, which are pretty important text, but the most important text it has on it, it gives all your other red battle cards and even your leader double strike. So when you play this, generally you're just going for game and just trying to double strike them down for the win. Burst Text and Gohan, it's good, but it's only at a 2 of. It does have critical. A lot of times in situations, after your Zeno play, this is a really good play because you do go down to 5 cards, but your leader lets you go up to 6 cards post-chain Zeno. But then if you can play him, it allows you to combo some into your attacks, especially if you're going for game there, and then swing with him for crit and being able to draw up 2 cards. So it's pretty good post-chain Zeno since you're already kind of bringing your own hand down, and then you can just proc it back up pretty quick. The reason why the deck works, this evolves on the 2 other trunks we showed earlier. It draws a card as well. If you're not throwing Zeno out with it, there's tons of other targets, as you've seen through the deck, that you can actually bring out with this. But this is really what makes the deck tick and lets you cheat out your Zeno. Alright, and Zeno the Playing God. Y'all know what this does? It just does broken stuff. You and your opponent both take your hands and your battlefield, and you shuffle into your library, and then you redraw 5 cards. But the good thing about this is the way it works is after you Zeno, your opponent draws up to 5. But the way the autos work, you can stack it to where you draw up to 6 because of your pan leader will let you draw an additional card. And then also, if you save that to your awaken turn, like you try to chain Zeno on this side, and then you awaken, then you can peel back 2 energy. So you're already at 6 cards. Then you can swing, go up to 7. Then you can trigger this side, and then play a battle card that gets a boost and draw another card. So you really can take advantage of Chain Zeno and fill up your hand back pretty quick with this. That's why this leader's always been really good with Chain Zeno. Normally, I would run more of these if it was a regular Pain variant. But since it's an Earthling variant, I needed to find room for more Earthlings. So Topo, just a great card. Will cost you 2. He's a counterattack, and basically he can be defensive. You can shut down your opponent's plays for that turn because we get to discard 2 cards if they want to attack anymore. Also, he gets to draw effect off the leader, so that's also good. This is, I don't think this has been the normal Overrealm target in this deck. I think they've been running the Bardock, but Bardock is not an Earthling. So what we did was add this Trunks because he's an Earthling. So once again, Yamcha can find him. And basically he overwhelms for 3, so it won't cost you energy investment. And when you do, you draw 2 cards and you place 1 card in your hand into the warp. And he draws off the leader as well. Super combos. I chose the 4 less life Krillin because I am running Overwhelm, so I didn't run the Sparking. And also, he is a Earthling, so once again, off your Yamcha, really good. You can search up super combos with him just with your Yamcha. Swing, look at top 3, find one of these because it is an Earthling, put it to your hand, and just continue to press and press. We're going to go into extra cards. After image technique, if you're in red, you're probably running this as your primary negate, even though it's technically not a negate. It just doesn't negate the attack, but it makes it really disadvantageous for your opponent to combo in because you're getting a huge buff and negative 10 then. And also, if you're holding enough of these, you can hold off Victory Strike. So it's really important. Someone Victory Strikes you, this card is going to be really relevant in surviving that Victory Strike. Another one, good reason, we run the 4 Digging Deeps because we run 3 Familiar Bonds. Familiar Bonds is good, especially with Digging Deep. You can grab other targets, but when you're really needing to put the pedal to the metal and put the gas down, especially early in the game, basically you can bring out Digging Deep turn 2 instead of turn 3 because it's supposed to technically be a turn 3 card. Those sides you'll bring it out on turn 2, and you'll get a draw off your Digging Deep entering play off the leader, and you'll get to basically swing with your Digging Deep Vegeta, see 2 cards off your life or see 1 off your life if you need. Restand, attack again, and if your opponent's already attacked you, there's a chance you can awaken that turn and just press harder. Last but not least is counterplay. You're in red, so you're also going to run some type of counterplay. Denial of Hope. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're just in red, it's real easy to use. It's because it's double red, but this is just a red deck. And basically, if your opponent's playing battle cards 20,000 power or less, you just go straight to its drop area instead of being played. So anyone that's used to red has been playing this. So I tried to make this one a little quicker than last time. I would say altogether, it's a really good deck in the current meta. The only difference between this version, it's more Earthling based, just because I like the fact that Yamcha acts like Scrambling Assault Goten. But beyond that, there's tons of different ways to play Pan, and it's just a fun deck. Once again, thanks, guys.